Ariel Helwani in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, on the road to UFC 165 alongside our good pal Matt Mitrione. I'm just going to keep talking here because I like that. That felt good. Was it a wet willy?
It was. No, it wasn't. It was a dry willy.
Okay.
It was a dry Danny.
Well, it's good to finally be at one of your fights.
Yeah.
You finally made it to the big time.
You stopped coming to small shows. So, it's the way it works. And I finally made it to this fight. Didn't get injured. So, not bad.
So much to talk to you about. Of course, actually, the last time we did an official interview, you got in a bit of trouble.
Right.
Brendan Schaub claims that this is your punishment, this fight.
Right.
He was called upon as some kind of a hitman by the UFC. What do you think?
It was so relevant that actually he referred to himself in third person. I mean, that's pretty significant stuff there, Like they called Brendan Schaub to fix this situation. So, I don't know. Apparently I'm in a lot of trouble.
Do you feel like you are in hot water? Do you have to win to stick around in the UFC?
I'm not worried about that at all. If I lose and I get cut, well, guess I'll go home and be with my kids. So, I mean, really, I'm not worried about that at all.
Some people have questioned. I asked them the same question I'll ask you. They've questioned the authenticity of this feud. Mm-hmm. They think that maybe you guys are friends and you're playing it up. It's been great. The back and forth has been great and very heated Twitter stuff, but they're not sure if
great lines.
Absolutely. Do you really hate each other?
You see the
oh,
fight?
Fantastic.
The
brown belt, there it is. I was going to ask you about it.
Yeah, I'm ready for it, buddy.
Is it real?
I have no problems with Brendan at all. I mean, what I say is real. I do think he's arrogant and smug, and I think that he comes off making himself look like an ass. Like the Metamoris thing. Sometimes how he talked, like the Nogueira thing. How he talks about after I beat him, I want a title shot, and then you get knocked out. You don't need to do that, man. You can just let your fights talk for themselves. Let your actions talk for themselves. I make a conscious effort most of the time. I don't say I'm going to knock this person out or whatever. I say I'm going to punch him in his face. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go out there, I'm going to bust my ass, I'm going to punch him in his face. That's what's going to happen. So I make a conscious effort to do that because I feel that when you make those bold predictions and they don't come true, you just clown yourself and you clown your camp. So, I'd rather just kind of keep it cool. And I think, so I speak on that, and that's what I feel. I don't hate him. I don't have any animosity towards him whatsoever. I even saw him in the lobby yesterday and went over and shook his hand. I was like, hey, what's up,
But he told us he didn't want to shake your hand. Did he snub you?
No, he shook it.
That's weird.
Yeah, he shook it. Him and his coach Lauren, they both shook it.
Really?
And the blonde guy with him, they all shook it. So I don't know. Credibility, I don't know.
Over Twitter, it got somewhat personal. He was talking about your family.
Yeah.
Did he cross the line?
Well, it's funny because we have a history with Tito, and I made jokes about Jenna. Jenna's a public figure, so there's a certain amount of I get some credibility there. But also I talked about somebody's wife, girlfriend, baby mama. So I can't say whether he crossed the line or not. Tina didn't like it, but I don't know. All's fair in love and war. I don't know. It didn't bother me at all. That's why I didn't respond to it. It wasn't worth it. But it's not going to make me punch him any harder in the face. I'm going to punch him hard enough to get my paycheck.
When you were on the show with him, and you've known him for quite some time, was he's a very confident guy.
Yeah.
Somewhat, he thinks highly of himself. You said third person, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Has he always been this way?
I don't know. I don't remember him being to this point, but also he was around a coach before that would tell him, well, you are the best in the world. You are so good. You are this, you are that. And I think it just might have resonated a little bit with him.
Did you hear him say that he's going to teach you the difference between an ex-NFL player going into MMA and a martial artist? And if so, did you find any irony in that? Because he is an ex-NFL player.
It was great. I think everybody saw that, and that's why they laughed about it. That's why I was like, dude, you clown yourself when you say dumb shit like that. Like, you don't need to say stuff like that. Like, people will respect you or they won't. You don't need, it's like, yes. I think everybody that saw that was on the same page. Everybody.
What did you think of his performance at Metamoris? He's been very much criticized for it.
Right. What do you think of that performance at Metamoris?
This is not my place. I'm asking you the question.
Well, I'm not a grappler. I entered one grappling tournament one time on a very small scale, and I feel that it was. Don't think he showed well for his team, himself, for the sport, and the fact that he was trying to bring eyes from MMA over to grappling. Yep. I think he did just the opposite of that. I don't know why that they did that, and the fact that the Gracie clan seemed to really support that and didn't chastise him and say, hey, even though you're part of us, what the hell was that kind of a thing? I don't understand that. But maybe that's a jiu-jitsu thing. I'm not a jiu-jitsu guy. I'm more of a catch guy.
He also told us just recently that he's kind of giving you the rub here. You're not used to this spotlight, press conferences, pay-per-view, spotlight, all that stuff. Do you feel somewhat honored that you're tangling with this guy on a pretty big show?
I'm on his coattails? It's been a hell of a ride on his coattails. I tell you that much. This is one of my first interviews I've ever had before. So like I'm flat. Really?
It's weird looking at you, not through a Skype. That's what he said.
That is awesome, dude. Like there is delusion in there. That is awesome. That's great. I love my job.
Who's your team now? Are you still with the Black Zillions?
Yes, I am. I'm still with the Black Zillions.
You still train with them?
Yes, sir.
But not managed by them?
No, Glenn and I aren't managed anymore, but we have a great working relationship. We still do a lot of business stuff on the sides. But the Black Zillions will be my camp. That will be my camp until I'm done. It's the best camp in the world, the best training partners in the world, the best coaches in the world, and it's the best work ethic that I've ever been around. Cumulatively, everybody that goes in there pushes each other to get better every single day. And on days like, I'm just going to sit in, I'm going to do light drilling, it never happens like that. Like, come on. And then Thiago Silva, like, for example, like some days my body's beat up, I'm older, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to do some light drilling, just watch. Like, no, let's go do this. Let's do something. And then we work on stuff. And then Thiago will take himself out of practice and be like, okay, well, we're going to do this at least. Or we're going to work on this, or do this. Or Vitor will be, hey, look, I saw you were doing this in side control yesterday. What about this? How about this? Well, what if I do this and it'll counter this? And everybody, there's so much knowledge in there that everybody works on the same bit. And I love it. I love being there.
How are you winning on Saturday?
Getting my hand raised.
How?
That's how. I think everybody knows that I swing leather. So if he's anywhere within these 82 inches of mine, it'll happen. If he's not and it's on the ground, I might win via submission. If I win via submission, would the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu world implode?
Is that almost a goal of yours?
I'm not gonna. I would never sacrifice position. I would never pull a Nogueira, like to give up a sure thing in order to try to catch something. But if I catch it, I will have the biggest shit-eating grin on my face, maybe of all time.
A nice feather in your cap.
I think it might even be a whole peacock.
Final question, and it's the most important one. I see Chris Lytle here. I see your team, obviously, but I don't see a big sexy.
Yeah.
Who?
He's cancer. He permeates everything.
I thought he was the sort of secret behind your success.
I think he is. Sexy, we miss you. There's a little bit more oxygen in the room because you haven't puffed it all out to talk about yourself. But we miss you. Ariel misses you. And I'm sure you're on a great cycle of steroids.
He won't be here, needless to say.
Yeah, he might show up, dude. He might.
Not wanted, though.
Yeah. Unwelcome, unwanted, but he still might be here. It's
Matt,
like herpes,
On that note, Matt, great to see you. Finally.
Yeah.
It's good to see you not through Skype, pixelated.
Well, like I said, it's one of my first interviews. I hope I handled it well. I don't know what to do with my hands.
There we go. I remember that well.
Yeah.
Good luck on Saturday. Can't wait for it.
Thanks, boss. Appreciate it, man.